Welcome, Tiger fans, to another edition of the Tiger Football Report, where this week, Coach Rob Ambrose and I discuss the Tigers' upcoming game against the Red Flash of St. Francis. The Tiger Football Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. You come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years to Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome once again to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, joined by head coach Rob Ambrose. And coach, this week the Tigers traveling to Loretto, Pennsylvania to take on the Red Flash of St. Francis. And the last time that these two teams met up at the Pine Bowl in Loretto, it was kind of a virgin territory for you, as you had to do something you had never done before, and that's call plays.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. I used to call out of the pass game way back then. But yes, we did have an incident where one of the coaches got ill, and I had to step up and take a little more responsibility that day. I remember it being a very cold and rainy kind of Western PA kind of day. It was a good football weather day. I think we came out on top on them.
Crushed them. Crushed them. And it was the play calling that did it. Anyway, the Tigers this week taking on the Red Flash. And this is a team that last year made it to the playoffs. A team that 5-10 years ago, you would be smacking your lips to play. But all of a sudden, you look at this team that last year they go to the playoffs. This year, in their first 2 games, they've outscored their opponents 100-6. And not only that, but their defense has picked off 5 passes, 5 interceptions in the first 2 games. This is not the same St. Francis team we used to see.
I believe they haven't lost a game at home in about 5 years either. No, it is not. And if you watched us over the last, I've been back for 9 years, then we've played them 3 times. And each and every time we've played them, they've made huge jumps in their successes. First time they were, 11, 12, 13. We ran all over them and, took time off clock at the end of the game. But the last 2 games have been massively competitive. I even said last year, I said, okay, here's the deal. They have a superstar on their team, Lorenzo Jerome. And I said, the only thing we have to do is not give him the ball, and we'll win the game. And the very first play from scrimmage, Darius Victor basically hands him the ball, and the guy runs 80 yards for a touchdown. I'm like, I don't think I must have said the words correctly. Maybe people didn't hear me. Now, to this guy's credit, he was awesome. He truly is. And he's
playing in the NFL.
He's on an active roster in the NFL right now. I could have told you that was going to happen. But their coach, Chris, he's done a great job building a tough, smart, fast, physical unit on both sides of the ball. They got a 5th-year grad transfer who can chuck it around a little bit, and they got a stud wideout who's legit. He's as good as anybody in our league. And defensively, they're tough. They're tough against everybody. It's going to be a challenge.
Their quarterback is a transfer from the University of Houston. He didn't play there, but he's a kid that transfers and has 2 years left, so they're in good hands at the quarterback position.
No, he's played in a system that's very similar to what they're doing here, but big skill set. He just played behind great guys, and he wanted a chance to play, transfers down, and is eligible right away. I think they're going to make a run at their conference title. I mean, look at the stats already. They're going to make a run at it, and playing on their turf late at night, it's going to be a tough one.
When you look at your team from, you said last week that between weeks 1 and 3, teams make their most improvement, that they will during the course of the season. From an offensive standpoint, we did see improvement from week 1 to week 2. I guess you're expecting to have even more of a jump from week 2 to week 3.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I'm not big on moral victories at all. Can we execute? Can we get done the job we need to get done, no matter who it is we're playing or where we're playing? I think offensively a week ago we did that quite well. That we weren't intimidated at all. 21-0, and some kids might just lay down. And we walked against what I would figure to be a top 25 team in the next 2 weeks, 80 yards like it was nothing. And if it weren't for some very small miscues, it's 21-21 at halftime. So I'm feeling pretty good about what we're doing growth-wise offensively. I think the offensive line faced what they believe to be the best defense front seven that they would face all year. And I thought Matt Kaufman played as good as he's ever played in a uniform. I think Antonio Harris played really well in a uniform. Nico Russolillo, who's in his second start, is playing against probably a guy who's going to have a chance to be an all-conference player in the Big Ten. He's holding his own already. So it is a lot not to be proud of, and to see the educational growth of these guys, both externally and internally. I think we took a step back defensively a little bit, but I think I have to be intelligent and say part of that might have to be who we're playing against. We're playing against guys who are going to be draft picks. And on occasion, yeah, they big played us. And how we're going to play. If we're going to have a chance to be in ball games against teams that are that good, we're going to have to gamble a little bit. And some of those times we won. There's some tackles for losses and times that we did good things. And sometimes we lost, and we lost big. So the goal would be not to give up those big plays. And seriously, that's a huge thing. Don't give up big plays. If you're not giving up big plays and you're keeping everything in front of you, we're going to have a chance.
Yeah, you were. I mean, it was 21-7, and you were driving, and then Ryan threw an unfortunate pass that went the other way, and all of a sudden, instead of being 21-10 or 21-14, it's 28-7. You can't afford to make mistakes against good teams, and this is a St. Francis team that is a good team, so you're going to have to keep the turnovers down against them also. From the defensive side of the football, because they do have a balanced attack, they can run it and they can throw it. What does that present schematically as a problem?
Oh, anytime anybody's really proficient at being balanced, there's 50-50 guessing games. And we have to be technically sound. We have to take care of the little things, so to speak, and let them add up through the course of a game. This is going to be a challenge, and you can't win the game in the first quarter, especially not against a good football team like them. And this is going to get into how the adjustments go into the second half, and I guarantee you the number of turnovers in this game is going to be in direct correlation to who wins and who doesn't.
All right, well, the Tigers will take on the Red Flash at 7 o'clock Saturday night. Hall of Fame head coach Gordy Combs and I will be with you at 6:45 on CBS Sports Radio 1300 and TowsonTigers.com. We'd like to thank Coach Ambrose for another edition of the Tiger Football Report. We hope you'll join us next week when we review the Tigers St. Francis game and preview the Tigers' first CAA game against Stony Brook. So that'll do it for us. Thanks for tuning in to the Tiger Football Report, and as always, go Tigers.